everyone, and welcome to the Chrissy B Show. Now we have a very, very informative program for you tonight, because the first thing we'll be speaking about is what your poo says about you. Now this is a subject that people don't really talk about very much, but it's a topic tonight that has really got a lot of response from our viewers, because we have lots of your questions to ask our popular media doctor, Dr Rob Hicks. So no question is silly, so if you still want to email your questions through, you can do so on chris@chrissybshow.tv. We're also going to be starting our regular fitness tips with Jane Wrafter today as well. So every show from now on, we'll be having a video to show you from Jane, as you've seen her on the show before. She's fabulous and she has lots and lots of great advice to keep fit. I'll also be showing you my latest challenge, and we have a very heartwarming success story to share with you as well. But first of all, I'm going to speak to Rihanna with the news. Hello, Rihanna.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Your hair's grown.
Yeah, I let it down like Rapunzel.
Yeah, wow. It looks fabulous.
Thank you.
So tell us what you have in the news for us.
Wow.
What do you think of our topic for tonight, first of all?
Yeah, when you did say it, I was a bit like, ooh, oh, whoa. Okay.
But you do want to stay to hear the questions.
Yeah, I'm a bit, I'm a bit interested. Like, what does mine say about me?
You don't need to say what it's like, don't worry.
No. I wouldn't do that. Expose myself so much. Well, so I wanted to ask you a question.
Okay.
What do you think, or how would you define a bridezilla?
A bridezilla?
Yes.
Well, I've not heard of the term before.
You're joking. You've never heard of bridezilla?
No.
Right, Chrissy, I think you're in the wrong business. You've never heard of a bridezilla? Right. How do I break it down? A bridezilla is one of those crazy brides that they want to do everything and still make it to the altar on time to get married.
But when a bridezilla, well, I think of Godzilla.
No. Yeah, well, kind of like that, but now a bride.
Okay.
Imagine the two coming together. It's a bit mad, isn't it? Well, a study has now said that all the groom has to do is turn up to his wedding, because everything else is already planned years before he's even come into the picture. Yes. Apparently, many women in Britain, I think 6 out of 10, already plan their wedding. Every detail, from the dress they will wear, their bridesmaids, the flowers that they will hold, the venues that they want, even before Mr. Right comes along. So what did you do?
I don't know, I just kind of left it up to my parents, really. Because I never thought about it, really. I mean, I always knew, obviously, I thought I would have the traditional Greek wedding with, when they pin all the money to you. And
fab.
I was quite looking forward to that. But then I didn't marry a nice Greek boy.
So I didn't. I was going to say.
But I married a lovely boy.
Yay.
So yeah, I didn't really plan it, to be honest.
Okay, well now
I suppose it seemed like it was so far away that I didn't bother.
Because, well, I'm not saying
family really gets involved.
Yeah, they do.
And they really sort of muck in. And
the bridezilla wants to have control of everything. So before Mr. Right even comes into the picture, she has everything planned.
I don't think blokes would mind anyway.
No,
because they can't be bothered with
that's all they do. They turn up. This is what you do, blokes. You just turn up. The finer details are left to the females. So, well, some people say it's a bit scary, but I don't know. I guess it's not scary to a certain extent. It's just that you're planning way ahead so that when he does come, everything's in place. All he has to do is turn up, agree to what you've said. Yes, we will have those flowers.
Have you planned your wedding, Rihanna?
Well, let's just say I know who my bridesmaids will be. I know we'll have tulips and I know the colour
scheme. So you're a bridezilla then?
No, but I'm a calm one.
Okay.
I'm a nice one. Some crazy ones have already booked the venues and they have the time and say, yes, it will be free 3 years from now, and they've got everything prepared. But I don't think it's a bad thing. It just depends on
I think
how
it's a
you
nice
go
thing to have your
about it.
dreams about it, but then you have to obviously consult with your other half and see if that's what they want as well, and not be so stuck in.
He will just turn up. I'm kidding. If you're watching, please.
Is he watching? Do we know who he is?
Well, do we? I don't know. Do you?
Well, you haven't told me anything, young lady.
Well, next topic.
Moving swiftly on. Yeah.
Swiftly. Well, I was thinking about theme parks, and what came to mind was Thorpe Park, Chessington, Alton Towers, and what's the other one in Blackpool? One with the really big ride. Roller coaster. You really don't know a lot, do you? I'm so happy you're taking all these challenges. Really broaden your horizon there.
It's probably just called Blackpool Fun Fair or something.
No, it isn't. It's a real big thing.
Well, I haven't been there.
They've got the biggest roller coaster. I would love to go there.
Okay.
But I'm scared. But anywho, when you think of all these theme parks, you don't think about children, do you? You don't think about the little ones and, you know, if they're really going to run up to Alton Towers and go down the oblivion. So
They're not allowed to.
No, they're not, because there's nothing for them until this year. Now, the UK have decided that they're going to build, I think it's 5 theme parks for children. Children characters like Hello Kitty.
Yeah.
They're going to have the Hello Kitty theme park, and that's due to open in May 2014 in West Sussex.
Okay.
And now it's going to have the famous teacup ride. There's something called a sky hopper. Now that sounds scary to me. I don't know if it's going to be something that drops down or it's going to zoom across. But because it's for kids, it will be fun.
Do you know, does it say the age range though? Like,
I think it's from children as young as 5.
because I think rides are pretty scary for
yeah,
them. They even get scared
you
on
have
some.
those ones that are really active and they're like, Mummy, I want to go on this. So Hello Kitty will be nice as a start, and Hello Kitty will be making an appearance, shaking the kids' hands and taking pictures, selfies.
Oh.
So that's going to be lovely. But there's also going to be a Shrek attraction opening in London South.
Why don't you go and check it out for us? You can do a bit of filming there, and
I
then
should. Then
report
you know,
on it and
I
play with all the
could
kids.
take a picture of Hello Kitty for the kids. You know,
Yeah.
only for the kids. I mean, I'm not a fan of Hello Kitty, but Hello Kitty might be a fan of me. But that would be nice. It would be absolutely fantastic. I'd love to do that.
I'm not sure. You can go and do that for us. Before you give us your next piece of news, Rihanna, let's just go to the fitness tip with Jane Wrafter.
Hi, I'm Jane. Welcome to the fitness tips for the day. What I'm going to show you today is how to tone up your arms. This again is something that women ask me a lot about, how to get a nice shape in the arms and get rid of the flabby bits. So I'm going to show you a few exercises today. You can have a go at home or anywhere. The first one, you put your knees on the floor and you have your hands under your shoulders like this. And if you find that it's difficult, you can bend your hips a little bit lower to the floor. I'm going to lower my chest to the floor, and then I'm going to bend the back slightly and lift back up. And if you want to make this harder, you can lift your knees up, take it down, relax the hips onto the floor, small extension in the back, and then press up through your triceps. So you can probably see that I'm having to work quite hard there to get myself back up. Another good one for the back of the arm is an up-facing plank. So you put your hands facing forwards, and then lift yourself up. And I tell you, if you just hold this for a while, you'll start to feel it in the backs of your arms. But if you're feeling strong, you can have a little go at a little tricep press up like this. So I'm just bending the elbows. Try not to bend at the bum. So you just bend your elbows and lift like this. And then you can just hold, keep your shoulders down away from your ears, and then relax. Brilliant. So have a go and you'll see a difference in those arms, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you to the lovely Jane Wrafter. She's got amazing arms.
She really has.
They're so toned. You know, I always have sort of trouble with these bits here. They're a bit flabby. Although I have been doing insanity workouts, so it's getting better. But yeah,
I think I need
she's
to get on
amazing. Thank you, Jane.
I loved it. I think I'm going to try that. That one.
I don't know if we've got time for another news piece, but you're going to stay with us, aren't you?
Yes.
But also, just to let our viewers know that if you do want to email through any of your questions about stools, you can do so on chris@chrissybshow.tv. Even though we might not have time to answer them on today's show, we can answer them by email for you. Obviously not myself, because I don't know, I'm not the expert, but Dr Rob Hicks can do that. I haven't actually asked him if he would, but I'm assuming he will. Yeah, he's a nice guy, he'll do it.
Definitely.
Okay, you can start another news piece, go on then.
Okay.
I'll allow you 2 minutes.
Oh,
Go.
2 minutes. Okay.
You can start it and then we can finish
This
it
one's
later.
it's a bit of I don't know. I'll just come out with it. Would you take on your best friend's children if she passed away?
No.
Why not?
Is that really bad?
Yeah.
Because I won't be able to take care of them very well, because I'm just really extremely busy.
Busy, well, because you're Chrissy B. But Jane.
There's a reason why I don't have children.
Yeah, there's a reason why, Chrissy. But this lovely lady
that sounds
here,
really mean,
Jane.
doesn't it?
No, you're not lovely. I was going to say you're not lovely. You are lovely. But there are circumstances. There are circumstances. I mean, if you did take them on and you were too busy to look after them, that wouldn't be fair.
That would be neglect.
That would be
wouldn't it?
neglect. That would be a sign of, let's not say the word, but it would be bad.
Yeah.
But Jane, she met her best friend Gina when they were just 14, and they built their friendship over 20 years. And then Gina just, you know, she got into a tragic accident and passed away. So Jane did what she could do, which was take on the 2 kids, but she also has her own 3 kids.
Oh gosh.
So she's playing the role of super mum, and she's doing very, very well. I mean, not everyone can do that. Look after 5 kids, 2 that are not yours. So she's dedicated herself to looking after all these children.
Really lovely. I really
That is
admire
lovely.
that.
I really thought this is a news piece to share, because sometimes we feel like, oh, I've got too much to handle, I've got to go work, got to do this, that. But she's taken on a lot, and she's really, really doing well. So Jane, if you're watching,
Would you?
congrats. Would I? Probably
It kind of depends,
it
you know,
depends on the
because
situation.
the thing is, like, if, for example, there is really no one to look after them,
yeah.
at least for a while until you sort until something's sorted out for them, because obviously you wouldn't want to see your best friend's children going to care, or, you know, especially if you're best friends with the person, obviously you've probably got a relationship with that person's children as well. That's how it is. Best friends, they love each other's kids, don't they? So I suppose it really depends.
It really depends.
But it's hard still. Oh, well, good luck to her. That's great.
Should be
Okay, we're going to go to a
great.
quick break, and then afterwards we'll be introducing Dr. Rob Hicks to answer your questions about stools. So do join us after this.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to the show. Now, before I speak to Dr. Rob about poo, let's go to my latest challenge. Hi everyone, today I'm down at Move 360 in Finchley, ready for my next challenge. I don't know exactly what I'll be doing, but I do know that I'll be up against someone else competing to see who will win this one. So let's go inside and find out what it's all about. Right, so we're about to start the challenge. I'm here with my friend Alini, who's going to be competing against me. So we're not really friends today, are we?
No, not today.
Straight to the point. And we're also here with trainers Luke and Claude, who are going to be taking us through the process of what we'll be doing today. So can I just ask a few of the things that we'll be doing, Luke?
No worries.
You're going to be gentle with us.
We'll try. We'll make it a challenge. Put it that way.
Okay. So how long are we going to be doing this for, do you think?
Probably about 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay. Now, Alina, you said you haven't been training for a while, so how do you feel about doing this?
Yes, challenged. Because I'm up for the challenge anyway, so yes.
Okay. Well, I have to say, I have been training a little bit, trying to do like 3 times a week, so hopefully I will be okay at this one, but let's see how we get on.
Remember, pull up, chin right to the bar, that's it. Come a little higher, pinch through here, good, all the way down.
Keep your legs nice and straight.
Okay, reach up, keep your legs under.
Maybe just do one on the light one. That's perfect.
Great.
1, 2,
Just keep it controlled to your toe.
3,
Keep it controlled.
4, all the way up, all the way.
I can't.
5. Step up one, you're going to bend both knee joints. Try and keep your back from hunching by bending through your knees. Push off the top, push off the top.
Right, everyone, we finished our challenge. We are really out of breath, but I really did enjoy that. Eleni, what did you think?
Yes, it was really nice. Really nice.
We had a laugh as well, didn't we?
Yes.
I'm sure we're going to show all the footage, but I'm completely out of breath, very tired, but that's what we were aiming to feel like, weren't we?
Yes, and it's good for us. Feels great, actually. It's tiring, but it's worth it.
Yeah, but now we need to know who actually won the challenge. So what do you think, Luke?
I think it was pretty even. I think you both had your strong points, so you were probably stronger with your lower body, and I think overall, yeah, pretty even.
What do you think then?
Yeah, I think it's even, but the most important thing is you guys got the technique really well, which is really important, yeah.
We passed the challenge then. Yay, we passed. Well done, Alini. We passed another one. Okay, I'm so looking forward to my next challenge. So I'd just like to introduce Dr. Rob Hicks to everyone before we go to some street chats. Hello, Rob.
Hi, how are you doing? I'm very well, thank you.
Very interesting subject tonight, right? People don't like to talk about it.
Very important subject tonight.
It's very important as well.
Not for the squeamish.
Yeah, oh, that's the thing. If you're eating at this time of night, although you should be really eating this late at 10 o'clock on 10, should they really?
No,
but that's another topic,
that's
isn't it?
That's another topic completely.
Okay, so you might be put off your food because we will be showing a few diagrams as well, so do prepare yourselves if you want to watch this. But first of all, let's see what the people on the streets had to say about what they think their poo says about them. So let's take a look.
Being logical, what comes into our bodies must come out. Now, if a medical expert was to analyse your stool, what do you think would be said in the report? I've come down to Oxford Street to ask people on the streets what they think.
I think it'd be good. Yeah, my mum makes me healthy stuff, so I think it'd be good.
I have no idea.
Are you healthy?
Yeah, I'm healthy. I don't know. What would they say? You tell me.
I eat a lot of sweet corn, probably.
They would probably say that I drink a lot of water and that they would want to find a new career path, because that's a slightly strange thing to be doing.
I think they'd say change your diet. Eat more healthy food. Eat more salads and things like that. Yeah, I reckon I know that when I'm over here and I drink a lot of Guinness, then things are really moving.
Too much sugar. Eat way too much sugar, fat.
So a few opinions there.
Yeah, I mean, the most common opinion we see in practice is, I've no idea. You know, people don't even look around to have a look, you know, so, and it's very important to look at the bowel motions, at the stools, because it can give you an awful lot of information, not just about your diet, but your health in general.
Can it save your life by checking?
It can, and that's why, you know, one of the bowel cancer charities did a look before you flush campaign, because if you see changes, so for example, if there's a fair amount of blood mixed in with a stool, you know, the worst case scenario is that can be bowel cancer. So, I mean, I think we have to reassure people that the majority of things they see when they look at the stool in the toilet, whether it be blood or changing colours, are innocent and nothing to worry about. But they should get checked out, obviously, if they're concerned.
Okay. Now we do have quite a few questions from the viewers. We'll try and answer as many as we can tonight. So I do have also some general questions, but I think we might end up answering them anyway as we go along through the viewers' questions. So you've already mentioned someone's asking about what does it mean when there is blood in a stool. So if it's not like bowel cancer, what can cause that as well?
Well, I mean, if people often find that on the toilet tissue there's streaks of blood, or maybe just in the toilet bowl, and the most common reason for that is piles, hemorrhoids, or small tears around the back passage or just inside the back passage.
Is that due to straining?
Yeah, straining in a hard stool has actually scratched it, just as like, you know, if you scratch yourself when you fall down, and that will cause fresh bleeding, bright red blood. And that sends people to the doctors very quickly, because obviously it's terrifying to see that. And thankfully, for the majority of people, it's an innocent explanation and nothing to worry about, and we can give them some advice on how to avoid, as you say, straining, because straining is one of the major problems as far as that end is concerned.
I suppose when someone's in a hurry and they need to go to the toilet, they just get it over and done with.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that people don't do, which they should do, is respond to the call of Mother Nature. Nowadays, people are so busy checking their emails, or maybe they're in a business meeting. Mother Nature gives you the signal you need to go to the toilet, and they say, well, you know, they put it off. And that means that you get a build-up, you're more likely to be constipated, which means you're more likely to strain. So the message is, when Mother Nature calls, you jolly well answer.
Go. Okay then. So this person, she says she doesn't mind her name being read out. So this is from Sandra. Sandra G, I won't read it, I won't say the surname. She says, should your stool float or sink?
Well, it should just gently go straight into the toilet bowl and go down, you know, at a sort of level rate. If it sinks really quickly, that can mean that there's not enough fibre in your diet.
Disappear completely.
Yeah, so if it just goes gone, like a torpedo, then it can mean that there's not enough fibre. If it floats,
too much fibre.
Not enough fibre,
Oh, really?
because it's heavy, so it's going straight down.
Okay.
So it should come out the back passage easily without straining. It should just plop into the toilet and just gently sink to the bottom. If it should float, then, and certainly if it smells bad, then chances are that's the result of having a fatty meal. There's too much fat there. And you know, if somebody has a large fatty meal the night before, they may find the next day that it's difficult. It's what we call, you know, floaters, and you have 2 or 3 flushes before it deems to go away.
Someone giggling over there. Okay. Well, it's a nice topic to laugh about anyway. So something in between is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, the consistency, and forgive me for saying this, it should come out like toothpaste. So it's you know, about you know, sort of 4 to 8 inches long. It's a sort of cardboardy brown colour, and the consistency is like toothpaste.
Actually, I don't know if it's a good time to show our diagram. Do we have that there ready? We can show the viewers. Let me just go to the next question until that comes up.
What we don't want, you see, is we don't want the rabbit pellets.
Really,
the little tiny,
bad?
because that means constipation.
Right.
And that generally means that the person is having to strain. I think it's important that we clear up the fact that many people think constipation is not going at all.
I thought constipation was not going at all.
So you'd be in the majority there.
Right.
But medically, constipation means not going as often as you normally do,
Right.
not producing as much as you normally do, and indeed having to strain more than you would normally have to do.
Right.
And it's rabbit pellets or sheep pellets is what's produced, either individual pellets or that you can see them, they're all kind of stuck together. Imagine if you get a load of plasticine, roll them up into balls the size of peas and then stick them together, then that would be a constipated stool.
Let's take a look at the diagrams. Okay, can you see that?
So you see at the top, type 1 and type 2 is the pellets, and that's the constipated level. You don't want it down at 7. And you don't want it down at 6. You want it somewhere around about type 4, which, as you see labelled there, smooth and soft.
Okay.
So, but we're talking the consistency. You know, it's toothpaste consistency. It's not you know, sort of squidgy soft.
Right.
Yeah.
Not that hopefully no one's going to be coming.
No,
to
exactly.
You don't need to test it.
No, you don't need to feel it, for heaven's sake. And if you are that detailed, then put on some gloves and make sure that you wash your hands afterwards.
There's some people that are fascinated with these things.
Yeah, no, there's some funny stories that we have from practice.
Really?
Where you know, there's the legendary story where a person was asked to, you know, report the samples when they came to the next appointment. This didn't happen to happen to me. This was an uncle of a friend of mine, and the chap came with a tin of his samples, and they were all labelled of what date and what time, etc. And I think that's taking it much too far.
Okay, you don't need to do that to your doctor. You can just describe.
Nowadays, what we see though, people take pictures with their smartphones, which is a much more palatable way of actually saying, well, this is what it looked like. What do you think is the problem?
Right. Okay, that's an option then. I don't know if we've got time for one more question before we go to. Do we have time for a question, guys? Let's see. Okay, let's just go for one more question. I think you've sort of answered this one. When it comes out too thin, is this something I should worry about?
It possibly could be something to worry about. It might be nothing to worry about, but if it's coming out thin, it might be that it's actually been squeezed through past something, some kind of lump or something. So if it's continually coming out like that, particularly if there's other symptoms, then get it checked out.
Okay. All right, so we're going to go to a quick break, Rob, but we do have lots more questions which we will be answering as many as we can for you, so do stay tuned and join us after this.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back. Now, before we go back to Dr. Hicks, let's take a look at our success story of the day.
Tim Baxter, an accountant from Oxfordshire, was diagnosed with cancer. One day, whilst in hospital, Tim turned on his TV and watched an interview on royal photographer Ian Pellman-Turner. Later, Ian received a heart-rending email from Tim, asking if Ian could help him follow his dream. Thus, Tim's new journey and tale begins.
Having cancer has made me really focus on the future and made me believe in myself that I can actually beat this cancer, and also at the same time develop my skill as a photographer. After having the operation, I was watching television whilst recuperating at the hospital, and I saw Ian come on television, and it was all to do with the news about baby George coming into this world very soon. And at that point I made a promise to myself that I would write to Ian and ask for his help. I believe in positive thinking, and having the ability to be mentored by Ian has given me a new purpose. I already have my family, which is amazing, but this photography has focused me on something different now, and it's taken me away from the cancer, and I feel that positive thinking is getting me through what could be an awful time. This new focus in my life helps me to take my mind away from a world that I had with cancer, and stops me from feeling the pain that I do generally each day. I love taking pictures of people. They have so many expressions. I love capturing those expressions. So I went down to my local pub in Fenny Compton and spoke with the landlord there to see if it was possible to take photographs of his staff and also the customers that they have within the establishment, and he happily agreed, knowing that I was trying to capture lots of images to create a calendar that I could then try and raffle off or auction off within the pub to raise money for cancer charities.
It's marvellous to hear about Tim's story. For me, it was such a pleasure to actually be able to teach him some of the tricks of the trade. It's a very positive story. It's a very moving story of how you can become successful in your life. No matter whatever happens, always believe in yourself.
It's a really heartwarming story, isn't it? So that really helps him. He took his focus off his illness and then doing something.
I think the positive thinking, message is very, very important with regards, physical health and indeed, mental health as well. It's interesting how we often find people, they have a significant diagnosis and then they decide to follow their dream.
Yeah.
And I would encourage people to try and follow your dream beforehand.
Before anything, yeah.
Yeah, you don't wait for these sort of illnesses or tragedies to occur.
That's definitely right. Okay, then let's go back to some of our questions from our viewers. And if you've just joined us, we are speaking about what your stools basically say about your health. So we've covered a few things already. Now this person, and I'm not reading names by the way on purpose because I know you don't want your names revealed, apart from one person, which was Sandra. She didn't mind, she said. But this person's saying, what if it comes out too light, like a yellowish colour?
That can be down to the fact that the liver may not be working well enough, or there's not enough what we call bile pigments. What gives it the brown colour is bile, which is the part of the liquid that helps digest food, and also something called bilirubin, which is a breakdown product when the body is getting rid of old blood cells. It makes a product called bilirubin, and that gives the stool the brown colour that we're all familiar with. If it's pale, then it means that it's not getting those pigments, so it might reflect a liver problem. Right, okay. And likewise, the other end of the spectrum, if it's really, really sort of dark and tarry, then one of the commonest reasons for that is people taking iron supplements.
That was actually one of the questions. So someone's saying here, where is it? So basically, when she takes iron tablets, it goes really hard.
Yeah, it goes really
and
dark. Yes, but also you must remember. Also, often, if somebody's not taking iron tablets, then they notice their stool is very dark and tarry, almost like sort of motor oil type colour, then that can represent bleeding from further up in the intestine, so from the stomach or the small intestine. Yeah, and it could be because of an ulcer, for example, or because of a tear or irritation to the lining of the stomach by taking anti-inflammatories. So that's something that really certainly needs to be checked out by the doctor.
Right, okay then. And this one, quite different. Is it normal when it comes out with some kind of transparent mucus substance?
Yeah, the mucus, it can be, and it can be related to constipation, for example. It might be related to diarrhea. People who got irritable bowel syndrome often find that they pass mucus. But it often reflects some kind of inflammatory process going on within the gut. So it could be a form of colitis, for example, ulcerative colitis. That's the sort of thing I think needs checking out, particularly if it's accompanied with other symptoms like stomach pain, abdominal pain, nausea, what we call unexplained weight loss. So people are losing weight without trying. Or one of the key things to look for is a change in bowel habit from normal that lasts more than, let's say, 3 weeks. So go in more often if it's looser, or indeed if it's harder. Most of these symptoms are individual pieces of a jigsaw. Right. So people shouldn't be frightened by one symptom, but they should always get things checked out if they can't explain it.
So if there's lots of different things going on at the same time, or more than one,
then definitely go and get it checked. But if you've got one that you can't pinpoint, so for example, dark, tarry black stools, and you're not taking iron, or you haven't been told it's probably because of your iron, get it checked out.
Right. Okay then. This one you've answered. One person's asking about it coming out like little balls, which you've already mentioned. This person's asking, is it normal to go to the toilet more than twice a day?
It can be. I mean, it's normal to go up to 3 times a week and up to 3 times a day.
3 times a week?
Yeah, some people,
really?
They don't go every day. That's another of these myths, is that you have to go every day. And that's not the case. We each have our own pattern. And what's important is that what is consistent is what's normal for us. So for some people that would be twice a day. Some people that would be 3 times a day. Sometimes it'll be once a day. Sometimes it'll be every other day. Sometimes it's only 3 times a week. So we're looking, as we are with many things in health, we're looking for a change from normal. Okay. So the answer to that question is that if that's what it's always been like, then that's probably fine. Normal for you.
Okay then. All right, and this one is asking, if your poo is hard and hurts when it comes out, what does that mean?
It's constipation.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and how do you relieve that? Well, increase the amount of fibre that you're eating, drink more liquid, be more active, try and keep stress under control, respond to the call of Mother Nature, and use a laxative, to get things going. Obviously, that's a short-term use, that's just to kick things off. And that usually solves the problem.
Okay then.
Oh, men are the worst at this, you see.
Really?
They sit on the toilet. They sit on the toilet reading magazines and reading newspapers. I was once told by a bowel consultant I worked for, you should only sit on the toilet for about 30 seconds. So trousers down or skirt up, underwear down, do the business, up, clean, wash your hands. Don't sit there for hours and hours, because even though you may not be going, the bowel thinks it's trying to go, so it's kind of intermittently straining, and that's what causes hemorrhoids.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. Learning lots of things here tonight.
So no magazines and no texting or iPads or tablets either.
Okay, don't take them into the loo with you. All right. Okay then. There's one that I'm going to save for after the break, because it's quite an interesting one as well. You've kind of answered most of these. Let me go to the next one. Why do I need to run to the toilet when I first wake up in the morning? Sometimes I almost soil myself. Can't read today.
That's a really good question. I mean, one of the reasons that might be is that the person has a bowel condition. They may have irritable bowel syndrome, which can make people want to go to the toilet more often. It can also make people go less often, and more often and less often can alternate as well. It might be that actually the person's very anxious, and therefore they are. The moment they wake up, they're getting anxious. We know that triggers the movements in the bowel and makes people want to go to the toilet. Or it might be related to what they've eaten or drunk the night before. So I would suggest that if this is becoming a problem, they do need to have a checkup, particularly if it's an ongoing thing. Once every now and then isn't a problem, but if it's a regular thing, then it's something that needs checking out.
Okay. Now this one you've answered already about the iron tablets. This one I think we'll probably answer this one after the break, but I'll just read it out because I think this one probably many people have questions about. Is colonic irrigation a good thing to do? So I know this is quite popular, especially I see it on TV with celebrities talking about doing it and everything, but we'll answer that after the break, Rob. And also after the break, I'll be answering this question from a viewer who's saying, I left my job to be a stay-at-home mum as I really wanted to spend more time with my family, and my husband earns enough for us to live comfortably, lucky you. But I've been feeling really frustrated lately. It's such a bore staying at home. I don't know if I've made the right decision. What would you do, Chrissy? So I'll also be answering that after this break, so do join us.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show. Always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Okay, welcome back to the show. So just before we go back to Dr. Hicks, I'd just like to give my opinion about this question that came in from a viewer. I'll just reread it. She says, I left my job to be a stay-at-home mum as I really wanted to spend more time with my family, and my husband earns enough for us to live comfortably. But I've been feeling really frustrated lately. It's such a bore staying at home. I don't know if I've made the right decision. So first of all, I'd like to say that there are lots of women that would love to be in your shoes, because on the other hand, sometimes we get ladies saying, oh gosh, you know, I'm working so hard, I wish I could stay at home and spend more time with the kids. So I think first of all that you should kind of appreciate the fact that you do have that option of staying at home. And I think you should also remember why you left your job in the first place. You're obviously probably missing your family, and I would say at the moment, make the most of that. If it's something while you're working, you were thinking about all the time, now that you're at home, just make the most of it, spend as much time as possible with them, have fun, take them out. I think it's a really nice opportunity for you, because people don't actually have that, a lot of them don't have that privilege of being able to stay home because of finances. Since you do, you might as well make the most of it. But also, if you are a bit bored, if I were in your shoes, I would probably find something else to do as well. Or maybe you can first of all work part-time, even though you don't need the money, but it's something to sort of get you out of the house. And also do something online, maybe do a course that you've always wanted to do. Even there's people that even start their own businesses online and do all sorts of different things. So those are options as well. But if you're really unhappy, I would probably say maybe try the part-time option as one. Just try and do something for yourself as well. But I would say first of all, give it a chance. Enjoy it while you can, and then give it a little while and then decide after that. Okay, so I hope that's helped, and that's what I would do if I were in your shoes. And if you're someone at home that would also like to ask me a question, please do email me on chris@chrissybshow.tv. I won't read your names if you want to be kept anonymous, so no, you don't have to worry about that. So now we're going to go back to Dr. Hicks, we asked the question about the colonic irrigation. So a viewer was asking if it's a good thing to do that. First of all, can you explain what it is exactly?
Yeah, it's using water to flush out the stool from the back passage. It's a clean out.
So basically they put a tube up your bottom
and flush it through and out.
I heard they use coffee as well, is that true?
You can some people have what's called coffee enemas to improve their bowel function. For some people with cancer, they seem to want to have it done. I'm not aware of any scientific evidence that shows any benefit.
Right.
With colonic irrigation, I don't think it's necessary. My personal and professional opinion is it's not necessary. The body is very, very well equipped to get rid of the waste products without any additional assistance. If you think about the food goes in the upper part of the intestine, the nutrients are absorbed, the waste travels further down into the large intestine where water is taken out, and then it's stored in what's called the rectum, the storage area, before we want to expel it, get rid of it. It is true that people have colonic irrigation and they say afterwards they feel more energetic, they feel happier, they feel slimmer, they feel healthier. But my professional opinion as a doctor is that it is not necessary, and there is it is small, but a possible risk of actually perforating the bowel when this process is done, which is very, very serious. And so I would say as a doctor, it's not necessary, and therefore, but there are risks associated with it, and therefore the risks outweigh really any benefits, because there aren't really any true medical or health benefits for having it done. I will get lots of emails and there'll be people saying you don't know what, etc. But it's important that I think people understand that none of the the treatment is not without its risks, and you make sure if you are going to have it done that you speak to the person who's going to do it to make sure that they have done it on a they explain what's going to happen, that they have done it for a long time on a lot of occasions, so that they know what they're doing.
When I watched a program about it once, and it seemed like the biggest sort of temptation to have it done is, especially from women, is that all of a sudden sort of the belly goes flat and you're not bloated anymore. So that's quite.
But if you think about, you eat a healthy diet, you keep active, you keep stress under control, you go to the toilet when you get the feeling to go, then the chances are that your body will manage this naturally without any external assistance.
Okay. Now, talking about that, what can a person do then to sort of have a healthy intestine? And,
I mean,
are there any other things apart from eating?
Fiber is very important. Liquid is very important. Keeping active is very important. Not overdoing it with the fat, because fat will sort of clog up the stool and make it perhaps harder to come out. And this is not rocket science, is it? We've talked about this before with diabetes, for example. The healthy lifestyle, the healthy diet is, some people do find that, the friendly bacteria, probiotics, like in the yogurts and things, that helps keep them more regular. Anecdotally, certainly if you start taking these products for the next 2 weeks, you will go more frequently as they are balancing the levels of these bacteria within the gut that we need, the healthy ones. And the other thing, of course, is you want to keep your gut healthy, always make sure that you prepare food properly, because food poisoning is probably one of the commonest causes of an upset stomach with diarrhea and sometimes some nausea and vomiting as well. But the key things to look out for: blood, change in your normal pattern of going, particularly if it lasts for more than 3 weeks. Any sort of pains that you can't explain, and unexplained weight loss. These are the sorts of things that should prompt getting your doctor's advice sooner rather than later.
And also, just to stress to the viewers as well, not to be embarrassed to go to your doctor. They've heard it a million times, they've seen it a million times, so,
We'd much rather hear the facts than somebody feel they can't say what's on their mind.
Right, okay then. All right, well, I think we've got a couple more minutes that we can actually... Can we ask a few questions about wee-wee?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Should I say the professional word, urine?
Urine, let's move to the other side.
What's the healthy...
Straw-coloured is what's healthy. If it's dark, it means that you're likely to be dehydrated. Right. Obviously, if there's any sort of hint of blood in there, then that should get checked out, because that can be caused by infection. It can sometimes be caused by damage too. If a guy has caught himself in a zip, you'll probably sometimes find that they're passing some, the urine's discoloured. Right. And the other thing about urine, of course, is that again, you drink enough liquid during the day, then it will pass nicely. It won't cause you too many problems. Things that go wrong with the urine, of course, infections. For example, you get people go more often than usual. It burns when they go, or they feel they need to go and they can't go. And men, particularly over a certain age, they're up at night going a lot. They keep having to go back and forth to the toilet, which that can be a large prostate gland. So again, something not to be embarrassed about. Get it checked out.
So please, where's my camera? Is that my camera? Okay, no, it's just one of my. So please don't be embarrassed. I mean, I know sometimes these things are a bit awkward to talk about, but as you know, I like to cover these kind of topics on the show.
It's important.
Because it's important, and it could actually save someone's life. So I really hope the viewers have found that use. I'm sure they have. I have as well. Thank you so much for your expert advice and knowledge again, Rob. I don't know what we're speaking about next time, but I'm looking forward to whoever it is.
I don't think it'll be as messy.
No.
Or it could be.
Or it could be. Okay, so do follow up. Anyway, we'll always announce whatever we're going to be doing on the shows. And by the way, if you do want more information about the program, you can visit the website chrissybshow.tv. So thank you very much, Rob, again.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time. Thank you, Rihanna, by the way, sitting pretty over here.
Thank you.
For the lovely news. Sorry we didn't come back to you, but you were fascinated about the subject, weren't you?
I was, yeah. I just kept, my mouth was just like, wow.
Will you be having any dinner tonight?
No.
No? Okay. Right. All right, so we'll see you again next time on the Chrissy B Show. Bye-bye for now. Actually do some wall climbing. We're actually at the...
Wait, let's try that again. Oh. Oh, no, it's not working today.
I forgot the other question. Sorry. And, okay. What was the first question? Okay, all right.